I picked up a wounded werewolf. In his spare time, he likes to sleep in his soft fur. Later, when he recovered from his injuries and turned back into human form, he warned me fiercely, "Werewolves will only have one mate in their lives, and I already have a wolf I like, and I will never accept you." With that, he ran away. And I stood there dumbfounded, not understanding. What is he saying? I've always kept him as a dog. What does it have to do with my partner? Later, I bought a big Labrador and led the dog home to see the werewolf crouching in front of the house, full of grievances. "You humans are half-hearted." He sobbed and said, "You lost it, can you raise me? I have more hair than it, denser than it, I eat less than it, and I can earn money, and I will give you all the money I earn. If you don't agree, I'll eat that stupid dog you're holding in your hand." In the 3rd month of picking up the werewolf, he ran away in the dark moon and high night. Before running, he warned me fiercely, "Werewolves will only have one partner in their lives, and I already have a favorite wolf, and I will never accept you. Put away all your dirty thoughts, I won't like you." With that, he ran away, leaving me alone, standing there in a daze, not understanding. What is he saying? I've always kept him as a dog. What does it have to do with my partner? Picking up a werewolf was a pure accident. I thought he was a dog at first, but on the 3rd day I picked him up and found that he had become a human. Lay back on my couch pillow and eat potato chips while watching TV. Seeing the happy place, the big fluffy tail shook happily at that moment. I don't know how many times I thought about the 24 core values in my heart. Flesh. Later, he told me about the werewolf species with a disgusted face, and I realized that he was actually a normal creature that had evolved. "So can you eat dog food?" I asked, kneading his ear. Don't pinch it." His face was flushed, and he took a step back and replied to me earnestly, "I want to eat meat, not dog food. I'm not a dog that wags its tail and begs for mercy on humans." Me. He's pretty hard to raise. The werewolf ran away inexplicably. I thought about it for a long time, but I didn't understand what he was doing, so I just didn't want to. The rest of life was peaceful. It wasn't until 2 weeks later that a partner asked me to go to a cafe to talk about a project, and I brought my computer with me. When we were chatting, it was a coincidence that I saw the werewolf at a glance. He had taken on a human form, tall and strong, in a suit and leather shoes, with cold and indifferent eyes, and his arms propped up on the railing, and he looked down impatiently at the people downstairs. "Miss Jiang, do you know Mr. Gu?" The partner noticed that I was looking at him and looked forward to asking me. "Mr. Gu is the majority shareholder of Rongan, and I am here today because I know that he will come often. Why don't you introduce me to me?" I was stunned for a moment, and then I realized that he was talking about the werewolf. I shook my head. "I don't know, I just think it's good looking. I'm sorry." The collaborator sighed. His expression could not hide his disappointment, and his attitude towards me was a little colder in the future. I didn't care. After explaining the project, and after getting up to check out, I saw the werewolf tilting his head and talking to a beautifully dressed urban beauty. The two were also very close, so close that their bodies overlapped, like a man holding a woman in his arms. It's more like kissing. I rolled my eyes thoughtlessly. On the way home, I passed by a pet hospital and saw a big dog in the window. A yellow Labrador. I put my hand on the glass, and it just raised its eyes, grinned at me, and lifted its paw up to hold it against the palm of my hand through the glass. I decided in that instant. Buy it. Raising a dog is much more comfortable than raising a werewolf. The dog can't speak, loves dog food, and is very well behaved, and when I am not at home, he always lazily lies on the carpet and waits for me to come home and walk him. I took it to a lot of places. Sandy beaches, marine parks, seal houses. One day, when I went to the coffee shop to buy coffee, the clerk didn't allow the dog to enter, so I kept it on a leash at the door and warned him to be well behaved. 2 people suddenly appeared beside him. Werewolf, and the woman who was very close to him that day. The woman stared at the Labrador wagging tail and sneered. Dogs, such creatures that wag their tails and beg for mercy on humans, are really a disgrace to the canines. Beside her, the werewolf's eyes were also dark, and he looked at me gloomily. I didn't care. I touched the Labrador's head and whispered, "Baby, be good. Mommy will make you beef balls tonight." With that, I got up and walked past the 2 men, leaving no eyes on them. When I came out, my dog was gone. The leash was loosened, and the leash was gone. There was a momentary pause in my movements. The werewolf was standing in the doorway smoking. Seeing this, he was very disdainful and excited, and said, "Look, it doesn't want you anymore." How can such a non-sane creature be faithful to its master? Wolves actually smoke? I left in disgust. Shouting the dog's name to find it, he asked pedestrians if they had seen a yellow Labrador as he searched for it. I walked almost 2 kilometers and didn't find it, so I was a little panicked. Just about to call for help, there was a swishing sound next to him. If you lose it, you lose it. What's there to find that stupid dog? Not being able to smell and find the owner is really a shame for the canine family. There's something nice about it. It's like a lump of human excrement. Don't keep a dog casually. Canines are very possessive. I couldn't help myself. Suppressed his anger and scolded him. Are you sick? He was stunned for a moment, and then he couldn't believe it. You murdered me for that stupid dog. You've only been buying it for 2 weeks. Just because it's killing me, are you going to let the dog bite me later? You can't do that to me. He was aggrieved. Was so aggrieved that he was about to cry, and his originally slender wolf eyes widened and faintly glowed with scarlet. I was speechless. I don't know what he's doing. It's my dog, and of course I'll keep it. And you said we wouldn't have anything to do with each other. I looked at him for a moment, saw that he was dressed in a haute couture suit, and held out my hand to him. Look at you like this. You mix well in human society. Settle the money I raised for your meat before, and I'm going to buy toys for the dogs. You. He seemed to be about to die of anger at me, and he began to speak incoherently. What kind of toy does a stupid dog play with? Mr. Gu. Suddenly, someone called out to him across the road and interrupted him. The man rushed over and looked at him with burning eyes. It was the partner of that day. He turned to talk to me with a fervent attitude that was very different from that day. Miss Jiang, why didn't you know Mr. Gu earlier? We will sign the contract immediately. I'll leave it to the in-house counsel to draw up the contract now. I said that you and Mr. Gu have such a good relationship. We don't have to delay it for so long, right? Me. I lost my dog and was forced to work overtime on my day off. Damn wolf. I smiled and turned my head to glare at the werewolf while the customer wasn't looking. His expression was more innocent and aggrieved, and there were tears in his big eyes, like they could flow down in the next second. It was already 7 o'clock in the evening after signing the contract. Tired, I walked out of the company and saw a person and a dog confronting each other at the door. The yellow Labrador tensed up, his paws rubbing against the ground, and roared to warn the bad guys with the smell of wolves on the opposite side. And the werewolf was casually clasping his arms, looking very disdainful and saying something I didn't understand. He's talking to a dog? Can a dog understand the language of a wolf? I couldn't believe it and stood a short distance away to watch for a while before I stepped forward and rubbed the dog's head. Reassure. Don't be angry, baby. Mommy is back. The werewolf was silent for a moment, then walked over and crouched beside me with his head down. What are you doing? I'm going to touch it too. He leaned his head forward. I was also raised by you. You can't just touch it without touching me. I'm a little speechless. Just from the collaborator, I already know his identity. Gui. The youngest son of the Gu family in Beijing, a shareholder of Rongin, the largest semiconductor production company in China, can be regarded as the top echelon of financial power. How can it be a shameless wolf? I stood up and asked him with a cold face, you just stole my dog? I didn't steal. He sneered, that dog leash is too loose. I pulled it open. This dog runs with a ham sausage by itself, and I can't do anything. I looked at him quietly and didn't speak. He bit his lip. Okay, I was wrong. He was very depressed. You are so good to him. Touch his head. Buy him toys. Kiss him. I am jealous. Obviously, you only raised my wolf. Didn't you say it yourself? There is a favorite wolf, and it has nothing to do with me in the future, so I don't want to covet you. Is that secretary the lady you like today? I asked him with a cold face. You like her and come to tease me. That's what you call loyalty? I'm not unfaithful. That wolf is my own sister, the kind born to a mother. He explained in a hurry. It's you who hugs other men, and I'm angry when I say those hurtful things. Werewolves will only have one partner in their lives, unlike you pure humans, half-hearted, so disloyal. His voice became smaller and smaller, and he became more and more aggrieved, and finally wiped his tears directly with the back of his hand. You saved me, saw my pure wolf body, and touched me and hugged me so many times. You are the partner I identified. You can't be sorry for me. Me. Can it still be like this? I don't like you. I touched you before because you were a dog. No, canines. I don't know how you werewolves define the term mate, but in our human world, hugging and touching don't determine a partnership. I told him bluntly, for that project, I have a commission, which can be regarded as making up for your food expenses at my house these days, and we don't owe each other. I don't like you, and I don't want to be your partner, so please don't do weird things in the future. Goodbye. No, never again. With that, I dragged the Labrador away. Walk fast and want to get away from the strange werewolf. He didn't catch up. I breathed a sigh of relief. When I got home, I made beef tofu and cabbage soup for my dog, accompanied by a bowl of dog food, and sat next to me to watch it lick the plate clean, which was very distressing. Hungry baby for a day, that werewolf is so bad. I touched the dog's head and said, "When we see him later, let's go up and bite him, okay?" The dog grinned, stretched out his paws, and high-fived me. At night, I slept in a daze and suddenly felt something furry rubbing against my chin. I thought it was a dog and subconsciously pushed it away. "Baby, don't mess with mommy." The thing froze, then rubbed harder, sticking out its tongue and licking my neck. Again and again, the wet and sticky touch made me numb. I opened my eyes and crashed into a pair of long, dark eyes. Stared straight at me, as if he wanted to devour me. It's the werewolf. I tried hard to push him away. His dark eyes were scarlet, and he raised his claws to hold my hand, and the huge wolf body shrouded me, enveloping me in an airtight air. The black hair fell on my cheeks, and I turned my head away in embarrassment and kicked him angrily. "Get out of here." He snorted, his body trembled, and he pressed down on me even more. "What are you going to do?" "I don't care about you." "Hear me. Are you going to sin?" "Bastard." I was about to cry out, and I heard his muffled voice. "I'm uncomfortable. Let me hold it for a while." "I'll hold it and do nothing else, please." His wolf head rubbed against my cheek, his furry ears swept inadvertently to my forehead, and his mouth was a whimper that could not be suppressed. I was stunned. "Rhett? Susceptible period? Or are you still taking drugs?" He shook his ears and didn't answer my words. The wolf's body is 2 years bigger than me, and the hair covers the 2-meter-wide bed, which is really heavy on the body. I was silent for a moment, then patted his paws. "Can you change your position? Let me be on top." As soon as I changed positions, I broke free of his claws and climbed out of bed, picking up the knife on the bedside table and facing him. "You're lying to me, whoa." He craned his neck aggrievedly and began to roar, which was loud and loud. I was so frightened that I yelled at him, "Shut up. Do you want a neighbor to come and smash my door?" He shut up, just jumped down and lay on the floor, looking at me with wet eyes and drooping ears, obviously sad. I pressed my eyebrows. "What the hell is wrong with you?" "It's my estrus now," he sullenly said. "The wolf in heat needs the smell of his partner to be soothed, and my head hurts so badly that I can only come to you." I thought about it for a moment and asked, "So you still have a physical connection with your partner? It's not that they want to identify who they are, but they also need to match the smell? Is that what it means?" I looked strangely at the wolf in front of me, who was hot and hot because of heat, kept rubbing his paws, and was lying on the ground begging me. "Compare the size difference between the two of us." "Can't beat it. Can't get rid of it." I sighed. He took the clothes he had taken off from the balcony yesterday and had not yet had time to wash them and threw them at him. "Is this okay?" "It's too light." He rubbed the wolf's head against his coat and said aggrievedly, "I'm strong in that aspect." "That's not enough." He couldn't stand rolling on the ground. A 2-meter-long wolf rolled around on the floor, whimpering. Rolling and rolling into the bathroom, and out of nowhere he took out a thin shoulder strap from the basin next to the bathtub, with an arc attached underneath. "What are you doing?" I watched in disbelief as he licked my underwear with his paws. "It's terrifying. It's so perverted." I wanted to grab it, but I didn't dare to provoke this obviously manic wolf. "Take 2 steps back and run out." I ran to the second bedroom, locked the door, pressed my pounding heart, and sat on the cold ground for a long time before I felt a little more settled. Yawned, climbed into bed, and began to sleep in a daze. I'm so sleepy. I'll settle accounts with that pervert tomorrow. When he woke up the next day, the werewolf had already made breakfast. Boiled yancha noodles, with poached eggs and a few green vegetables in it, look very appetizing. He looked at me cautiously, his hands rubbing and rubbing over his apron, and smiling visibly flatteringly. I let out a hee-hee sound, leaning my cold face against the doorframe. "What happened last night?" He coughed. "My estrus period is here, and I miss your taste so much that I can't hold back." "Pervert. I'm not a pervert." He immediately retorted, "I am a pure black wolf." "How do you talk back?" He bowed his head aggrievedly and stopped talking. The thin waist is wrapped in an apron strap, and the suit pants are quite curved. I knocked on my head and kicked out the yellow scrap inside. "Why do you need my smell and heat?" "Because I like you." He said, "I like you and treat you as my partner, so only your smell can soothe my estrus." This forcibly bound relationship. I suddenly wondered, if I don't smell you, what will you do when you are in heat in the future? Then you can watch me crash into the wall and die. He looked at me plaintively. I have identified you. Only you can appease me, no one else or a wolf. Me. Are you werewolves so strong at buying and selling? Not forced. He told me very seriously, the people have said that no human being can refuse the ability of a werewolf. Even if it's a human being who is already married, as long as they sleep together, they will definitely be willing to continue to sleep with me. Do you want to try sleeping with me? Shut up. I interrupted him. Glancing at the dinner table, I asked him, where's Lucky's rice? He was stunned for a moment, and then reacted that Lucky was the name of the Labrador, and he exploded in an instant. You asked me to cook for the dogs. That inferior species, how can I cook for it? I dare to do it. Does it dare to eat? Me, will you do it? He was silent for a moment, then walked over to me and crouched down. Putting out the ears and tail, fluffy and shaking, they tried to seduce me. You lost it and kept raising me, okay? You see, my hair is denser than it, softer than it, more obedient than it, and I can earn money, and all the money I earn will be given to you. You raise me, just raise me, okay? His claws. Ah no, hands on my knees, slender wolf eyes were stared into ovals for cuteness, blinking and blinking, trying to soften my heart. In a trance, I remembered the information I found last night about the young master of the Gu family. Looks good, has a good family background, was born with the pride of heaven, and in the few public photos, he is also an elite fan who looks down on all beings. Anyway, it's very different from the coquettish and pitiful wolf in front of him. I was silent, and just as I was about to say something, I heard the doorbell ring. It was accompanied by the man's clear voice. Jiang Jiang, are you at home? I realized that it was a colleague who lived upstairs, and he also liked dogs, so he said that he would take the dog out to play together today. Lowered his eyes and looked at it. The werewolf's tail is taut, and the underside of its eyes is full of scarlet. Seeing my gaze, he smiled slightly, hiding the ferocity of a carnivorous animal. Asked me softly, Jiang Jiang, can I help you get rid of that bad guy? He's not a bad guy. I nudged him. You go to the room and hide for a while. I don't. His face was full of grievances. What are you going to do with him that I can't see? You can't do that to me. Jealous werewolves are unreasonable. The doorbell rang for a long time, and I couldn't help it, so I twisted my eyebrows and warned him, if you don't hide again, I won't pay attention to you again. He looked at me in disbelief, and for a moment his eyes were shattered. You murdered me for an ugly man. He cried again. While wiping his tears, he stood up and walked slowly to the bedroom, choking and muttering, I'm obedient. I'm good. Don't ignore me. Me. Can't understand the werewolf's brain circuitry. I shook my head, got up and opened the door, letting my colleague in. The dog didn't know when it would run out and ran happily around him. It seems to like you. That's right. The colleague looked down and touched the dog's head, looked up and saw the noodles on the table and smiled apologetically. It turns out that you made noodles. I thought you didn't eat them and brought you fried dough sticks. It's okay. I thought about it for a moment and took the bag in his hand. Noodles can be eaten by dogs. I just want to eat fritters. Thank you. It was late when I got home. I put on my slippers and looked at the darkness of the living room, thinking to myself, that werewolf must have gone. I couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. I opened a can for the dog, stood up and stretched. When I turned around, I saw a pair of wolf eyes full of resentment. I was so frightened that I took 2 steps back and tripped over the dog who was eating canned food, and my back hit the corner of the table. It hurt so much that tears were streaming down my face. It hurts. You deserve it. The werewolf picked me up, put me on the couch, rubbed my back, and said with a cold face, half-hearted humans deserve to be punished. I didn't speak. I sat on the couch and sobbed silently. Shut up. Don't cry. If you cry again, I'll bite you. It was late when I got home. I put on my slippers and looked at the darkness in the living room, thinking to myself, that werewolf must have gone. I couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. I opened a can for the dog, stood up and stretched. When I turned around, I saw a pair of wolf eyes full of resentment. I took 2 steps back in fright, tripped over the dog who was eating the canned food, and hit my back just over the corner of the table. It hurt so much that tears were streaming down my face. It hurts. You deserve it. The werewolf picked me up, put me on the couch, rubbed my back, and said with a cold face, half-hearted humans deserve to be punished. I didn't speak. I sat on the couch and sobbed silently. Shut up. Don't cry. If you cry again, I'll bite you. Still crying. Okay, stop crying. We hit the table and broke it down and set it on fire. Baby, be good. Don't cry, okay? I feel bad if you cry. He arched his head over my neck, his tail over, shaggy, brushed my face, wiped away my tears. If it still hurts, you can pull the hair off my tail. He flatteringly wagged his big tail at me. I stared at the tip of the tail for a long time, grabbed it with my hand, and wiped it on my face, very hard, trying to wipe all the tears away. His face grew a little red. Kneeling in front of the couch, he whispered, "My estrus season hasn't passed yet." Don't pinch hard," I pinched again with a blank face. "Baby?" He snorted and covered his eyes tremblingly. When I looked up again, my eyes were already wet and shining. I let go of his tail. Instead, he anxiously pressed the tip of his tail into my palm. "You can push harder." He blushed and said, "The baby pinched it. It's very cool." "Pervert." I scolded him. "I'm a pure black wolf." He retorted in a low voice, his ears shaking at the top of his head. "Pure black, it's beautiful." I didn't want to dwell on these things with him, so I sniffed and asked him, "When are you leaving my house?" "I don't want to go. I'm going to wait until I'm in heat." He was a little angry and a little aggrieved, and asked me, whether it's in wolf form or human form, I'm good-looking and rich and can support a lot of cubs. "Why do you hate me so much?" I shrank back. Who would want to find a wolf to be their husband? What if you get eaten? He himself eats raw meat, drinks raw blood, and can bite raw bones, and the police won't find out if he eats me. And he's so big in wolf shape, just in case. I can't bear it. I'm going to die. No way. Absolutely not. You don't want wolves as companions? He froze, as if he hadn't thought of this reason. After a while, he asked sullenly, "So as long as it's a wolf, don't you accept it? I can always be humanoid and have no tail or ears out, is that okay?" I shook my head. He pursed his lips, and a hint of anger flashed in his eyes. I kindly advised him, "I really can't. You can change the object you like, rely on your hardware and software, and find someone who is 100 times better than me, and there is no problem at all. No change." He said firmly, "I am a loyal wolf. I'll only like one person in my life, and I will never change people. If you don't like me, I'll try to make you like me." He felt in his pocket and pulled out a black, gold-trimmed card. Shoved into my hand. "For you, no limit. Just brush it. If you give me money, you can't drive me away." I was silent for a moment, then patted his arm. "You turn around." "What are you doing?" he asked, obediently turning around. Tail retracted. Phew. I swallowed and reached for the back of his suit pants. It was found that it was deliberately designed, not sealed, just two pieces of fabric overlapping to cover up. With a shake of the hand, the hard fabric was picked open, revealing the white inside. "Woohoo!" He whimpered and said, "Baby, this place is too small. Shall we go to bed?" "Shut up." I withdrew my hand as if nothing had happened. "I'm just curious why you can show your tail in a suit. Are all your suits like this? Do you wear it when you're outside?" "Of course not." He put his tail out again, fluffy, rubbing my palm, and coquettishly, "Only wear it in front of the baby. This shameless wolf has made his home in my house." I don't know who to learn the trick from, and he began to let go of his wolf arrogance and curry favor with the Labrador. Dog toys, dog food, dog treats. Even if you order milk tea, don't forget to make a cup of goat's milk for the dog. Not to mention that they speak the same language. When I got home, I saw a wolf and a dog snuggling up on the sofa, watching TV and eating potato chips, and I felt that the whole world was magical. Gooey. I looked complicated and said, "Dogs can't eat potato chips." "Yes." He turned back into human form and held up the chips to show me. There are 4 big words on it. Dog potato chips. "Baby, people can also eat a little. Do you want to taste it?" I was silent and asked him sincerely, "Mr. Goo, don't you need to work? Roman is such a big company. You mess up here every day. Is it really good? Wolves in heat don't need to work." He sensed that I wasn't happy, but he didn't know what he was doing wrong. He put the chips down, his ears drooped, and whispered, "My brother will take care of the work for me these days, and he said that my task is to get through the estrus period and bring my partner home." His brother is far more famous than him and often appears in the public eye, the eldest son of the Gu family in Beijing. He's a wolf, too. No, we're wolves. I felt that my 3 views were impacted, and I asked with difficulty, "Then the entire Gu family will not be, only me, my brother, and my sister are." He whispered, "Our mother is a werewolf, and all 3 of us are. Werewolves have strong genetic inheritance, and if I had a cub with you, the cub would also be a werewolf." He pursed his lips, went to the kitchen, and brought me a plate of strawberry cake, and brought it to me flatteringly. "Baby, Don't be angry, okay? I have prepared a delicious cake for you. I specially asked them to add a lot of strawberries, all of which were flown in, the freshest. You can taste them. I looked at his expectant face, hesitated for a moment, and picked up the fork on the side. The phone rang suddenly. It's my immediate boss. He said that there was a project that needed to be discussed, and he asked me to go back to the company immediately and calculate the overtime pay. I said yes and hung up, only to see the werewolf look disappointed. I made a table of dishes that you love. Don't have time to eat. It's okay. Your job is important. Baby, go ahead. I'm sticking with you. I'll always be your back. No matter when you turn back, you can see me. I choked and didn't know what to say. This guy doesn't know who he learned from. The stubborn wolf who was originally arrogant and stinky farts pretended to be a sincere and sensible green tea wolf. You don't have to. I sighed. It's just a meeting. I'll be back soon. Keep the food. I'll eat it when I get back. He pinched a strawberry from the cake and stuffed it into his mouth, adding, the strawberry is really sweet. Thank you. When I arrived at the company, I realized what the boss was in a hurry for. The Gu family sent someone to talk about cooperation and also clearly pointed to our group. The next head of the Gu family also came. Gu Yi's brother. He is far more calm than the little young master. He is dressed in a straight suit. His face is as cold as ice, and his body is surrounded by an aura that rejects people thousands of miles away. After the project was introduced, he still didn't say a word. After a moment, he pointed at me. You stay. The others go out. His fingertips tapped at the desk, waited for the conference room to be quiet again, and asked me bluntly, Miss Jiang, do you like my brother? I hesitated for a moment and whispered, I don't want to start a family with werewolves just yet. I'm sorry. No need to be sorry, I understand. He nodded knowingly. The problem now is that he likes you and thinks you're his partner. Werewolves have an estrus once a year, and wolves in heat will have a hard time without the smell of a mate. I want to sign an agreement with you. Even if you don't like him, you can come and accompany him every year during estrus. I'll compensate you accordingly. Actually, I have a question. I finally asked the question I'd been bothering myself for a long time. Werewolves need a partner so much, and they can't change their partner. So what do they do when their partner dies? Guze smiled. You seem to have underestimated the importance of your partner to the werewolf. In the werewolf clan, once a partner dies, the werewolf will carry his partner's body to the snowy mountain, find a cave, and wait for death without eating or drinking. It can be said that once a werewolf has determined a mate, it is equivalent to putting his life in the hands of the other party. Until I went home and stood at the door of my house, I didn't get relieved from Guze's words. I don't understand. Survival is supposed to be the direction of evolution of all living things. And the werewolf race is evolving in a very strange direction. I called out to him. The self-form of the knotted horn fell under the 6 Lu Yidong. I shook my head. I wanted to ask him if it would be bad for him to eat so much cream. But look at how happy he is to eat. Never mind. Werewolves are also human. I think I can eat it. I pursed my lips and asked him, why did you get hurt next to the trash can in the first place, given that you're so good at home? My brother's opponent is out of his own power and wants to kidnap me and threaten my brother. But it's all settled, and it will definitely not involve the baby. He assured me. Suddenly, he approached me and sniffed carefully. Baby, why do you smell like my brother? I've seen him tonight. I'll be honest. He asked again. Gu-yi, have you ever thought about what you will do in the future if I insist that I don't want to be your partner? If the baby doesn't like me, then die. He shrugged. A wolf that can't please his partner is the most useless wolf, and there is no need to survive. He said death so easily. It's like leaving this world, how unworthy it is. This race's indifference to life once again refreshed my cognition. Then I asked, if you want me to be your companion so much, why did you say that you have a favorite wolf and let me not covet you? Hearing this, the werewolf coughed and lowered the fork in his hand. Begin settling old scores with me. There was a man who brought you back that day, and you hugged him, and in the werewolves, hugging is only something that can be done between partners. Baby, you have hugged me so many times, and you still have to hold him. It is a betrayal. His beautiful face was full of grievances. I watched you hug upstairs. I was so angry. You didn't coax me when you came back. And at that time my brother told me to go home, and I said those things in a fit of anger and ran away. Actually, I regret it. I know that I shouldn't think of humans like werewolves, but I can't help it. The thought of my so fragrant, so soft baby being held by someone else makes me feel like crazy. Man? Hugging was just a normal social etiquette in their country, and the wolf maliciously misinterpreted it as intimacy. Why do you want to come back when you think I've betrayed you? My brother scolded me. He whispered. My brother said that humans are different from us, and that a narrow-minded wolf like me will never please his partner in his life. You will betray me. It only means that I am not good enough. I have to be generous and treat you better, so that you can change your mind. Me. What is this peerless love brain speech? The werewolf clan, are they all so weird? Okay, last question. I took a deep breath. Are you going to eat people? His eyes widened suddenly. Baby, why do you think that? Werewolves are also people. How can we eat ourselves? He reacted. So you're afraid of this, that you won't accept a werewolf as a partner? A little, I said, but now I'm not afraid. You werewolves are very different from what I imagined. I beckoned to him. Can you take the form of a wolf? Tonight, I want to sleep on your stomach. The Labrador is not as old as you, and I can't sleep comfortably. Of course. His eyes lit up in an instant, like the brightest stars in the night sky. Handsome, rich, loyal, coquettish, almost imaginable perfect partner. And it's he who can't live without me. It was he who pitifully begged me to love him. No matter what I do, there will be no loss. Thinking about it this way, it's like, can you try it? Well, then give it a try. I didn't lose anything anyway. Wolves in estrus will be very clingy, very fond of coquettishness, very fond of kissing and hugging, often impatiently licking people and complaining that I don't kiss him. The estrus period generally lasts for 1 month. So one day a month later, I couldn't help but slap the werewolf's restless hand. You're past estrus. You can't be so intemperate anymore. It's a wolf's instinct to kiss and lick. He hugged me aggressively. I like you, so I can't help but kiss you. It has nothing to do with estrus. If you don't let me kiss, I'll be very uncomfortable, and if I'm uncomfortable, I'll hit the wall. You're abusing me. You can't do that. I didn't let you kiss. It's just that I can't kiss the flesh on my body red. It's like cooking. I frantically squeezed his head, took a deep breath, and said sincerely, I think you werewolves are better suited to find a werewolf as a companion. At least in terms of physical fitness, it is a good match. It's really scary. It's so big. It's so thick. I really can't take it. Plus 1 man, 1 wolf, and 1 dog. I thought life would go on like this. Until I was kidnapped. The kidnapper was a weak young man, Guyi's brother's opponent, and he was crazy and shouted at his mobile phone, asking me to pay for my life. It seems that Gaolong brother has offended a lot of people. I thought silently. This kidnapper is very inexperienced, like a desperate fight, looks vicious, but in fact, I wasn't even drugged. The bracelet was given to me by Guyi, specially made, with a blade in it. I carefully took out the blade inside, cut the rope, and while the kidnapper was there shouting into the phone, I immediately picked up the knife on the ground and held it against the kidnapper's throat. He was alone in the open field. I tied him up with a rope, and the more I thought about it, the more I felt that something was wrong. How did such a piece of waste get around the bodyguards kidnapping me? Until Guyi's brother found me, he said with a gloomy face, Guyi has an accident. In this world, there are 2 factions of the werewolf clan. One faction is the family faction that advocates harmonious coexistence with human beings and integrates into human beings to a great extent, and worships the family. One faction is the faction of wicked people who treat human beings as food and want to slaughter human beings to claim their own kings. Of course, humans are not easy to mess with. They joined forces with their relatives, and after several struggles, they killed the wicked faction to the ground, and they could no longer pose a threat. The still surviving wicked faction hated the Gu family very much. Once, they almost killed Guyi, but I interrupted and picked Guyi up and cured him. Now, they created the illusion that I had been kidnapped and led Guyi into their trap. It's the jungle. Guyi's brother told me with a heavy face. They lied to Guyi and said that you were inside. By the time I arrived, Guyi had already killed all the werewolves surrounding him, and he was also seriously injured. Not only that, but he thought you were dead and had gone mad. A mad werewolf can only be appeased by his partner. Sorry, I might need you to go out into the jungle. It's okay. I waved my hand and said without hesitation, take me with you. Guyi's brother turned into a wolf, a huge 2-meter-long wolf, and squatted down in front of me. Come up, I'll take you there. I was stunned, then climbed up, grabbed the hair from his neck, and ran all the way. When I saw Guyi, I was taken aback. My little poor Guyi is gone. I saw a wolf covered in blood, banging its head against a tree, roaring so loudly that it almost split its eyes, and I couldn't even tell it was a wolf. I cautiously approached him. He was very uncomfortable. Her pretty eyes were full of scarlet, and her claws rubbed against the ground, and again, her nails cracked and blood flowed red. Gooey. I stood still half a meter away and called out to him, "I'm here, it's okay." He turned his head, confusion flashed in his eyes, and then a bright light burst out. Woohoo! He lunged at me, throwing me to the ground, my back pressed against the dry leaves, and it didn't hurt, but I was numb. He eagerly stuck out his tongue and licked me from head to toe, trying to confirm my existence. The sound of whimpering in his throat kept coming, like coquettishness, like grievance, and like fear. Tears fell down my body. He cried. The claws gripped at my body tightly, as if I would disappear after a second of stopping. "Don't cry, baby. I'm here, I'm fine." I gently pinched his ear. "I'm coming, baby, I'm fine, right in front of you." According to my character, I don't really accept the setting of werewolves that only one person is recognized for the rest of my life. But when I saw that Gooey single-handedly took on 9 wolves in order to save me and won, my heart really couldn't help but move fiercely. Hero. Battle damage. Scar. Really poke my sexual fetish hard. As soon as the heart moves, it is completely out of control. The second month after that kidnapping, Gooey and I got our certificates. With a smile on his face, he bought the Labrador new clothes and moved to a new house with it. The new life is happy and comfortable, with only the occasional gossip. They said that I had climbed Gooey. I can't argue with that, because even I feel a little bit of that. Gooey's brother knew about those rumors, and specially told me that he didn't have to care. Love is an instinct engraved in the werewolf genes. All the evolution of werewolves is yearning to meet people who love each other. It's his luck that you love him. Jiang, you must know that the initiative in this relationship has always been in your hands. Yes, I understand. Actually, this is unfair to Gooey. I whispered he shouldn't have been controlled by the werewolf instincts. I want him to be free, even if I die. Not too much. Werewolves have a physique and energy that surpasses most people in the world, and there is always something to be paid for. He said lightly, "We can't take all the good things for us." How unfair it is to you humans. Affection is the shackles that powerful werewolves voluntarily put on themselves. Plus, is that what it means? I was silent for a moment, and finally I vaguely understood my previous doubts. Evolution is fair. It created the werewolf as a species of almost incomparable strength and left an inextricable weakness in his genes. For werewolves, the mate is not only a condition of survival, but also a catastrophe for survival. For Gooey, that's what it means. When sitting on Gooey's back for a ride on the Siberian steppe, hold the wolf hair on his neck tightly and feel the wind in his ears. I shouted at the sunset, "I love you." Woohoo! Gooey looked up to the sky and roared, jumped into the sunset. It's beautiful. Very fast live. There is only a pounding heartbeat left in my ears. All rights reserved at that time. I thought, life is short. Guarding a person, it passed quickly.